Story 1. On the 26th of July 2019, the morning broke with all the hallmarks of a quintessential summer's day. The sun presided over the coastline with a brilliance that seemed to promise an unforgettable day ahead. Seized by a sense of adventure, I planned a beach day with Sarah and Michael, my two close friends. The excitement had been brewing for some time, and the prospect of basking in the blend of sun, sea, and sand was tantalizing. Arriving at the beach, we were greeted by a vista of tranquility. The golden sands spread out endlessly, met by the soothing rhythm of blue waves. We established our little sanctuary, complete with umbrellas, blankets, and a cooler brimming with refreshing drinks. Music serenaded us, setting the tone for a day dedicated to relaxation and friendship. As the day unfolded, we were lost in a whirl of laughter and profound conversations. Our cooler seemed bottomless, and we indulged in our drinks with relish. For those moments, the world beyond our sandy enclave seemed miles away, and we were absorbed in the sheer delight of each other's company. With the sun embarking on its descent, painting the sky in shades of amber, we felt drawn to the cool waters. The sea invited us with open arms, and we obliged, letting the waves caress and invigorate us. Perhaps it was the intoxicating mix of sunshine, companionship, and ocean that led us to venture further out than intended. The initially playful waves grew bolder, their strength catching us unawares. In that bubble of bliss, we felt untouchable, until nature decided to remind us of its might. A colossal wave, as though conjured by the forces of nature, overwhelmed us, turning our joy into terror. We were at the mercy of the sea, our laughter silenced by the overpowering currents. In the midst of this turmoil, as I fought against the pull of the water, something extraordinary happened. My struggle ceased, and I felt myself being lifted, drawn towards a dazzling tunnel of light. This light wasn't just visual, it enveloped me in sensations of love, peace, and an indescribable joy. It was as though the universe itself was welcoming me, offering insights into its deepest mysteries. I wasn't navigating this journey alone. A presence, my spirit guide, accompanied me, offering reassurance and wisdom. Together, we traversed the tunnel, moving beyond the physical realm into a sphere of pure spiritual essence. At the end of this luminous passageway, an incredible sight awaited me. A grand structure that seemed to draw inspiration from Roman architecture, its pillars reaching skyward, carved with incredible detail. Everything was bathed in a divine golden light, creating an atmosphere of unparalleled serenity. Standing before this edifice were three beings, ancient and wise, their eyes reflecting the depth of their knowledge and compassion. They seemed to have been expecting me, understanding the core of my being without a word spoken. Their examination was profound, delving into every aspect of my life. As they reviewed my journey, every action, every joy, and every sorrow was laid out before me. The kindness and love I had shown shone brightly, guiding me, while my moments of failure and indifference cast shadows, reminding me of the complexity of my existence. During my life review, I was taken on a voyage through my own story, accompanied by the profound insight of these timeless beings. This wasn't merely a replay of events, it delved deep into the emotions, intentions, and the ripple effects of my actions. It was an eye-opening realization of how deeply connected we all are, and how our actions reverberate far beyond our immediate understanding. This process illuminated the undeniable interconnectedness of all life and the significant impact our choices have on the world. It was a moment of true reckoning, understanding the weight of my past actions and recognizing the potential for growth and transformation. As I absorbed the gravity of their observations, these beings shared their wisdom in a manner that transcended speech. Their insights flowed into my awareness with crystal clarity, revealing truths that stretched beyond the confines of my understanding up until then. They unveiled the mysteries of the universe, immersing me in a profound sense of unity with all existence. It was an expansive revelation, broadening my perception of reality in ways I could never have imagined. These venerable entities weren't judges in the traditional sense, but more like mentors, imparting their knowledge to foster my spiritual development. Their demeanor radiated compassion, underscoring their commitment to guide me towards deeper understanding and enlightenment. However, my time in this transcendent realm was fleeting, and I soon found myself returning to the familiar confines of the physical world. Their last look was a promise of transformation, urging me to carry their teachings forward. Suddenly, I was back in the tumult of the sea, fighting for air. Surfacing, I took a breath of life, acutely aware of the second chance I'd been given. This experience had bestowed upon me a responsibility to apply the lessons learned from the beyond in my everyday life. This encounter left a lasting imprint on my soul, a constant reminder of the enigmatic truths that lie beyond our mortal grasp. The knowledge gained from the wise beings, the journey through the tunnel of light, and the guidance of my spirit guide had irrevocably changed me. As I lay recuperating on the beach, surrounded by my friends, I was overwhelmed with gratitude for this newfound lease on life. It was clear I had been touched by a force much greater, a presence that defied temporal and spatial limits. This event marked the beginning of a quest for self-discovery, a commitment to live in harmony with the profound insights received. With a heart full of gratitude, I sought to embody the virtues of compassion, understanding, and the interconnectivity of all beings, convinced these principles were key to a fulfilling life. In the time that has passed since then, I've been drawn to explore philosophy, spirituality, and the universe's mysteries, eager to share my near-death experience in the hope of inspiring others to delve into life's deeper questions and embrace the wonder of our existence. My meeting with the ancient sages in that celestial edifice served as a poignant reminder of life's ephemeral nature and its place within the vast cosmic tapestry. It encouraged me to live purposefully, to value moments of connection, and to pursue a deeper comprehension of the universe's enigmas. Ultimately, my brush with death was much more than a close call. It was a journey to the beyond, offering a glimpse into infinity and awakening me to the universe's intricate beauty. It underscored the importance of seeking knowledge, fostering connections, and carrying the wisdom gained throughout life's journey, wherever it may lead. This story was shared by Tim Fuff and happened in 2019. Story 2. Growing up in the Englewood district of Chicago instilled in me a sense of resilience, strength, perseverance, and a deep capacity for love. My mother and her parents were devout Baptists, so from a young age, I was steeped in religious traditions. As I matured, though, I began to chart my own spiritual course. I was part of a dance group in high school, and around this time, I also started to delve into the Bible and history, exploring aspects of divinity that were previously unknown to me. Life took its turns, and after a brief stint in college, I found myself a parent to one child, which soon became 3. In 2001, my family and I moved to Columbus, Ohio, hoping for a fresh start, but challenges swiftly followed. The years brought loss and sorrow. My grandmother passed away, then a cousin was murdered, and amidst these trials, I welcomed another child into the world. My circumstances seemed to worsen year after year. I secured employment at Coca-Cola, but a routine physical in 2005 revealed that I had lupus, and subsequent diagnoses included severe depression and anxiety, compounding the trauma from family losses and legal battles over custody. By 2012, a checkup unveiled a pulmonary embolism, PE, setting off a series of medical interventions that proved futile. Amidst this turmoil, I found solace in meditation, a practice that I dedicated myself to for several years in an effort to maintain my inner peace. Despite discovering that my single PE had multiplied to 3 by 2014 to 15, I persisted in caring for my physical and spiritual well-being, until in early 2016, I was diagnosed with angina. Yet I continued to work, meditate, pray, and stay positive. The turning point came on the evening of August 17, 2016. After a day's work, I experienced an unusual sensation in my chest, unlike anything I had felt before. Unalarmed, I spent my evening winding down and reaching out to my loved ones, my mother, best friend, and girlfriend, before I went to sleep, oblivious to the fact that I would not wake up in my own bed. Nearly a week later, I regained consciousness in the hospital, surrounded by machines, tubes, and a breathing apparatus, with my family and doctors at my bedside. They told me I had suffered a heart attack, had actually died, but was miraculously revived. In that moment, despite their grave words, I felt an overwhelming sense of peace and saw a radiant light enveloping my family, a manifestation of pure love. Upon regaining full consciousness, I found myself greeted by my best friend and his family from Chicago, along with my children and his wife, who was holding my hand, encouraging me to squeeze it if I recognized her. My subsequent blackout was brief, and when I was finally able to stay awake, they filled me in on the harrowing details. Apparently, I'd driven myself to the hospital, collapsed at the emergency room entrance, and went into cardiac arrest. After multiple resuscitations and the insertion of a stent in my heart, I was airlifted to Riverside Methodist Hospital. My family were on their way to hospital when they were informed that I had passed away. When my family arrived, they were met by a sea of faces in the waiting room, all there for me. My mom, frantic and heartbroken, couldn't believe I was gone despite what she was told. My daughter, with a conviction beyond her years, insisted I was still with them, urging everyone to wait just one more day. Amidst the overwhelming flood of social media condolences and the premature start of insurance processes, I was unaware of the turmoil, lost in a state of otherworldly peace. My journey beyond was unlike anything I could describe. Drifting through an amber tunnel, Surrounded by outstretched hands yet feeling no fear, I eventually found myself floating above a gloomy highway at night, recognizing landmarks from Columbus. Suddenly, I was catapulted into space, observing a planet surrounded by a mesmerizing energy in the Andromeda galaxy, feeling a profound connection to everything and understanding the true essence of I am. Then, as mysteriously as it began, it all faded to silence. Back in the realm of the living, a call from the hospital on the morning of August 19th brought shock and hope to my family. Despite a slim chance of survival and an uncertain future, they were told of a faint pulse. My recovery was nothing short of miraculous, emerging from a coma and multiple strokes with a newfound peace and clarity I'd never experienced before. However, reintegrating into the world brought unexpected challenges. Everything around me felt alien, from the bustling streets to the serene skies. The loss of my job and home meant starting from scratch, but it was the intense empathy for the world's pain that weighed heavily on me. My meditative practices evolved, occasionally revealing visions of future events with unsettling accuracy. Despite the physical aftermath of nerve damage, neuropathy, and a traumatic brain injury, my spirit remains unbroken. Optimism, it seems, is my unwavering companion through this journey of renewal and discovery. This story was shared by Leonard M. and happened in 2016. Story 3. After battling cancer for 4 long years, my beloved wife passed away on June 10, 2021. The pain was raw, unbearable. The next day, as I tried to console our kids, grief engulfed me. Tears streamed down my face, and it felt like my throat was closing up, suffocating me. I closed my eyes, lost in sorrow, and then nothing. In that void, there was nothing to perceive. No sights, no sounds, just an overwhelming sense of peace. Time seemed irrelevant, and I drifted, directionless. It was an abyss of serenity, almost comforting in its emptiness. Then, faintly at first, I heard my children's cries, distant yet urgent. Their voices pulled me back, growing louder until they enveloped me completely. Suddenly, I was gasping for air, surrounded by my sobbing children, clinging to me as if afraid to let go. In that moment, I made a choice, to return to the world for them, to be their anchor in the storm of grief. And strangely, the fear of death seemed to vanish, replaced by a quiet acceptance. Losing my wife shattered me in ways I never imagined, but perhaps in that fleeting moment of emptiness, I found a glimpse of peace. I've often wondered if it was a longing for oblivion, a release from the pain. Though I can't say for certain if I was clinically dead, the experience felt all too real. Reflecting on it now, I realize that my journey doesn't end here. There's a newfound curiosity, a determination to understand what lies beyond. But for now, I'm grounded in this world by the love I have for my children and the memories of my beloved wife, whose presence still lingers in every corner of my heart. This story was shared by Peter F. and happened in 2021. Story 4. During one of our intense training sessions, I blacked out from a chokehold. As my body collapsed, something extraordinary happened. Leaving my body behind, I embarked on a journey beyond this world. Through a dark tunnel, I fixated on a faint light, drawing me towards it. Suddenly, I found myself in a realm of boundless peace, a peace so profound it erased any fear of death I ever had. It felt like heaven, and I knew I was in the presence of God. Music filled the air, a mix of English and Spanish, and all around me, people walked hand in hand. Looking down, I saw the first heaven, angelic and serene as described in the Bible. I watched as the earth transformed into a paradise, teeming with magnificent creatures below. Words fail to capture the depth of emotion I experienced. It was a completeness, an unshakable fulfillment beyond human comprehension. It was as if every fiber of my being resonated with contentment and gratitude. But amidst this heavenly bliss, a living light approached me. Though I thought it might be my father, it was something far greater, an energy of love and peace beyond words. It offered me a choice, to stay or to go back. As thoughts of my mother flooded my mind, I knew I couldn't bear to see her suffer, so with a heavy heart, I chose to return, determined to share my experience with others. Back in the training room, my teammates watched in concern as my body convulsed from the seizure. But for me, it was a return from a glimpse of paradise, a place of endless love and harmony. That moment wasn't a dream. I tasted heaven with every step and felt a connection beyond words. And even now, I still carry the echoes of that divine encounter within me. This story was shared by Gyro and happened in 2019. Story 5. I felt myself drift out of my body, looking down at myself lying on the road. It was surreal, feeling so alive and free despite being separated from my physical form. There was this bright light in the sky, almost like the sun, drawing me towards it. As I journeyed towards the light, I was treated to the most breathtaking landscape, stretching out before me like a grand vista from a plane window, only magnified. In that moment, it felt like I was plugged into some sort of universal consciousness, like I suddenly had access to all knowledge and understanding. It was as if a veil had been lifted, and I became infused with a profound wisdom. When I finally reached the light, waves of unconditional love washed over me. It was unlike anything I had ever experienced before or since. No questions about my beliefs or affiliations, just pure, boundless love. Then, I heard a gentle female voice in my mind, offering me a choice, to stay or to return. But if I chose to go back, there would be much for me to do. Without hesitation, I expressed my desire to return, and so I began the journey back towards my body. As I re-entered it, I was greeted by the sharp pain of hitting the pavement and the weight of returning to the limitations of the physical world. The memory of that experience has never left me. It's as vivid in my mind today as it was then. Before this happened, I had my doubts about the existence of God, but feeling that overwhelming love emanating from the light, I'm now certain that there is a divine presence, and it touched my soul that day. I yearned to stay in that heavenly embrace, but I felt a sense of purpose, a calling to fulfill on earth, and I couldn't bear to disappoint the divine. This story was shared by Tom M. and happened in 1959.